Alright, let's dive into something that's been weighing heavily on my mind lately. Imagine this, it's the middle of the night, and while most of us are sleeping, there's a child, just a kid, whose life is cut short by a missile strike. That's the reality in Ukraine right now, and it's absolutely gut-wrenching. The news broke recently that at least 3 people, including a child, were killed in overnight Russian attacks near Kyiv. Personally, I think this is one of those moments that forces us to pause and really reflect on the human cost of this conflict. It's not just about geopolitical strategies or military tactics, it's about families being torn apart, and that's something we can't afford to ignore. What makes this really interesting, and by interesting, I mean heartbreakingly complex, is the timing of these attacks. Just days earlier, strikes across Ukraine killed 21 people. Now, we are seeing more casualties, more destruction, and it feels like the violence is escalating. From my perspective, this isn't just a random spike in aggression. It's happening as mediation talks falter, and both sides seem to be doubling down on their military efforts. One thing that immediately stands out is how these attacks are becoming more frequent, and that raises a deeper question: are we witnessing a new phase in this war, one where the rules of engagement are shifting? Now, let's talk about the specifics. The missiles hit east of Kyiv, causing powerful explosions that damage apartment buildings, cars, and even sparked fires. What many people don't realize is that these aren't just random targets. They're residential areas, places where ordinary people live. It's not just about the physical damage, it's about the psychological toll. Imagine living in constant fear that your home could be next. If you take a step back and think about it, this kind of warfare isn't just about gaining territory, it's about breaking the spirit of a nation. A detail I find fascinating, though fascinating feels like the wrong word here, is Ukraine's struggle with interceptors. President Zelensky has been vocal about the depleting stockpiles of anti-ballistic systems. He said that delays in receiving these systems from allies lead to horrific casualties and destruction. Personally, I think this is a critical point. It's not just about Ukraine's ability to defend itself, it's about the international community's commitment to supporting them. What this really suggests is that the war isn't just being fought on the ground, it's being fought in the diplomatic sphere, in the supply chains, and in the decisions of world leaders. And let's not forget Ukraine's recent counterstrikes. They hit 2 oil refineries deep inside Russia and targeted Moscow-linked vessels in the Black Sea. Zelensky said this was to limit Russia's oil revenues, which are used to finance the war. In my opinion, this is a bold move. It shows that Ukraine isn't just playing defense, they're taking the fight to Russia. But it also raises questions about the long-term strategy. Are these strikes enough to shift the balance of power? Or are they just fueling further escalation? If you ask me, what's most alarming is how this conflict is evolving. It's not just about territory anymore, it's about survival, resilience, and the international community's role in all of this. What this really suggests is that we are at a tipping point. The decisions made now, by Ukraine, Russia, and their allies, will shape the future of this war. And that's why stories like the child killed in Kyiv matter so much. They're not just headlines, they're reminders of what's at stake. So, here's my closing thought: as we watch this conflict unfold, let's not lose sight of the human stories behind the statistics. Every missile strike, every casualty, is a life changed forever. And that's something we all need to think about. What do you think? Is the world doing enough to stop this? Or are we just watching history repeat itself? Let me know in the comments below.